Hey Overcomers, welcome to my studio. I'm so glad to have you here. And welcome to Overcoming with Jennifer, my weekly Q&A session. So today I'm gonna answer one of your all's questions, one of my followers' questions, and then in a couple days, I'm gonna send out a video where I show you how I address this through artwork, through my art making and writing process. So for today, we're going to tackle the issue of trust. This is really common. I've talked about it a lot before. I'm sure I'll talk about it more in the future. But I had two questions related to trust, and I actually want to address both of them because I think they really go hand in hand. So first, someone asked, will I trust myself again? And someone else asked, how do you trust other people again, like trusting that they won't turn into a narcissist or won't reveal themselves as a narcissist? Okay, and I want to address these together because I think the root of both of these is that we need to learn to trust ourselves. So I'm going to talk about that first, and then I'll talk about how that ties into the second question. All right. So first, will I trust myself again? I think the answer is yes. I think if you're asking that question, the answer is yes. You need to keep doing this work, keep doing your therapeutic work, keep engaging in coaching and therapy. I think those really go hand in hand because therapy is about digging into all the deep, dark emotions and your past experiences, and coaching is all about taking actionable steps forward, having a plan, having goals, and actually reaching those goals. If you're anything like me, you have a history of having lots of dreams and visions in your head, and you're very much a thinker and a daydreamer and a disassociator. We tend to dissociate and dream about how we want our life to be, but anxiety and depression can keep us from actually taking those steps forward. You know, so often I have had actual plans all planned out in my head, even sometimes written down, and I just wasn't taking action on those for years because of the debilitating anxiety and this underlying sense that I couldn't move forward. I just didn't have the agency and the power to do anything in my life to actually change it. Subconsciously, I just really didn't believe that was possible. So it didn't occur to me to actually take action on these plans and daydreams that I had. So if we keep doing that work and keep moving forward, we learn to trust ourselves, because what we're doing in that process is we are connecting to and attaching to ourselves, to our sense of self. So of course we lose our identity and our sense of self in the abusive relationship, whether that was a relationship in childhood with a caregiver, with a parent, or whether it was a romantic relationship now as an adult, which of course that's more my focus. But either way, we lose our identity. We lose our sense of who we are. We don't know who we are. So the more we focus on that, on the healing, on taking action towards exploring who we are and what we want to do, what our preferences are, our likes and dislikes, what feels comfortable to us and what doesn't, you know, setting boundaries, all of those things involved in our healing. The more we do that, the more we get to know ourselves, and the more we trust ourselves. We trust our intuition. We trust our gut. That's something that I address specifically in the Redefined Process, my group coaching program. We talk about trusting your gut, not judging yourself, and we do that in the art process. And there are a million different benefits to the art process itself, but one of them is that if we can learn to trust ourselves and trust our intuition in that art making process, that transfers to the rest of our life. We learn to trust ourselves in other situations. We trust our decision-making skills. We trust that we're doing what's right for us. We trust our ability to set boundaries, but we have to practice it, taking steps. So art can be one actionable step to practice building that trust and connection to and attachment to ourselves. But you could do that in a lot of other ways, again, just by taking action in your life consistently, trusting your intuition. You practice it little baby steps at a time, and you gradually will trust yourself. So the second part of this, how do you trust other people again? Trusting that they won't turn into a narcissist, or that they won't just reveal themselves as a narcissist when you had no idea before. It comes back to trusting yourself. So if we trust ourselves and our intuition, then we're gonna more easily, more sort of solidly trust our choice in other people that we're engaging in relationships with, whether it is a romantic relationship or just a friendship, or, you know, a colleague that we're getting to know better. We're gonna trust ourselves more to make choices, to reach out to and connect with people who are healthy people if we're connected to ourselves, right? Connected to our identity. So if we're trusting ourselves, we're going to trust other people more readily. And this is key, that is because we're not putting, this is really important, we're not putting our entire sense of self-worth and all of our needs onto that other person. So many of us have a history of codependent behaviors, and if you didn't before the relationship with the narcissist, then you certainly did coming out of it, because they teach you that, right? They keep you in this cycle of codependency where your identity is enmeshed with them, and you have this role of you're less than and not important, and your opinion doesn't matter, and they call the shots, right? Like it's this, I always say it's like a dysfunctional puzzle pieces that just fit right together as long as you are following their script of how they want you to act. And then once you start to heal and get more knowledge and break away, it doesn't work anymore. So as you continue to heal and break away from that and learn about those codependent patterns, you will not be that dysfunctional puzzle piece for other people. You're not going to be drawn to people like that. I always say I have a narcissist radar, like I'm not going to end up with a narcissist. Now that doesn't mean I can't, end up with someone else who's not healthy in other ways, but really that's just a reflection on me too and the areas that I need to continue growing. But I am confident that I will not end up in a relationship or even a close friendship with someone who is narcissistic again, because I trust myself now to recognize those patterns. And again, trust in your intuition, just that gut feeling of when I'm with someone, even if they're not overtly displaying the abusive behaviors, I'm not going to be tricked again because I just get it on an emotional level. I understand there's something icky about this. They're not healthy. They're not a person I want to connect with, and I don't invest in those people. And in the same way, we will be more and more drawn towards healthy individuals, people who are at our sort of level in our healing process as we continue to heal. So I hope that answers that question. I know that was a quick answer. There's so much more we could delve into with this. I want to keep answering the questions that you submit. And if you have any other more in-depth questions about trust, I'd be happy to go into it more. So thank you again for coming to my studio, for spending this time with me. You are an overcomer, whether you feel like it or not. Continue overcoming. Keep doing the work. It pays off. You can learn to trust yourself again and to trust others.